Welcome back, Mastery Algebra 1. I'm Mr. White. This is the continuation from 6.3a. This is lesson 6.3b, solving systems by more elimination. So problem 3, a little bit of review. We're going to look at multiplying one equation to eliminate one of the variables. So if we're washing 2 cars and we're washing 3 trucks, and it takes a total of 130 minutes, washing 2 cars and 5 trucks takes about 190 minutes. We need to figure out, well, how long does it take to wash each type of vehicle? So in case we want to do 1 car and 2 trucks. So the first thing we need to do is, again, we're going to assign a variable to each of the car and the truck. We can do X and Y. I just chose this time C. So if C is the number of minutes it takes to wash a car, and T is the number of minutes to wash a truck, we have 2 equations that hopefully we can write based on the minutes of 130 and 190. So if we take the first one, we know that 2 cars plus 3T, which is trucks, that's going to take a total of 130 minutes. If we take the second equation, we know that 2 cars and 5 trucks equals 190 minutes. Okay? If we look at our 2 equations, remember, we're trying to eliminate one of the variables. Now, if you notice, probably the best variable to get rid of would be C, because we already have a 2C and a 2C. We just need to have opposites. So we need to make one of these a negative. So if we multiply just this top one by -1, we're going to make a new equation by distributing -1 into the parentheses and changing the 2C to -2C, the 3T to -3T, and the 130 to -130. We can draw our line, and what's going to happen is these 2 C's are going to cancel. So that when we add down, we get 5T minus 3T, which is 2T, and then 190 minus 130 is 60. Okay. Now to solve for T, what times 2 equals 60? So we divide by 2, and we get T is equal to 30. Now we need to take that 30, because we're going to need to figure out, well, how long it takes to wash a car. So we're going to take that 30 and we need to plug it into one of the original equations. So if I just go to the top, let's plug in T here. Okay. We're going to get 2C plus 3, plug in the 30, and we're going to get equal to 130. 2C plus 90 equals 130. If we subtract 90, we're going to get 2C equals 40. And then we have to divide by 2 again. So C is equal to 20. So we have 30 for T, 20 for C. Okay. If we put these all together, we can write our sentence and say, hey, to answer the question, how long does it take to wash each type of vehicle? It takes 30 minutes to wash each truck and 20 minutes to wash each car. All right, problem 4 now. What's going to happen if we don't have exact numbers for X and Y, and there isn't one where we can just multiply something to one equation? Well, now we have to multiply by both equations. So if we look at 3x plus 2y equals 1, 4x plus 3y equals -2, we have to look at the x's and the y's and say, well, 3 and 4 both go into what number, and 2 and 3 both go into what number? Or you can simply just multiply the 2. So 3 times 4 would give us 12, so we could use 12. And 2 and 3 make 6, so we could use 6. So let's go for the lower number, and we're going to multiply. One has to be a negative, one has to be a positive. So for instance, we need a 6y here and a -6y. Well, in order to do that, to get a positive 6y on top, so we just need to multiply the top equation by 3. To get a -6y, we're going to multiply the bottom equation by -2. Okay. So by doing that, we're going to get 9x plus 6y equals 3. And distribute the -2, we're going to get -8x minus 6y equals +4. Okay. By doing this, you should notice these 6y's are going to cancel. They're going to give us 0. Okay. So by adding down, we're going to get 9 minus 8, which gives us a 1x, and 3 plus 4 gives us 7. So we just found one of our variables. Now we're going to take that 7 and we're going to input into one of the original equations. So if we go this way, let's just, again, use the top equation. So we're going to go 3 times the 7 plus 2y equals 1. So we get 21 plus 2y equals 1. Subtract 21. 2y is equal to negative 20. Divide by 2. And y is equal to negative 10. Okay. Always, again, plug back into both equations to make sure that you have done it correctly, meaning checks. So here's our checks. We have one equation that was 3x plus 2y equals 1. And we had another equation that was 4x plus 3y equals negative 2. So we had 7 and negative 10. So 3 times 7 plus 2 times negative 10 should equal 1. 21 plus a negative 20. 21 minus 20 is 1. So that checks out. We plug into the next one. We have 7, 3, again negative 10. So we're going to get 28 minus 30 equals negative 2. 28 minus 30 is negative 2. So they check out. So again, what we just went through is we had to multiply something to both equations, and we ended up getting 7, negative 10 for a solution. So going one more time through the process on 4. How can we use multiplication property of equality to change the equations in the system in order to solve it by elimination? Okay. If we look at 4x plus 3y equals negative 19 and 3x minus 2y equals negative 10, hopefully you notice that we do have opposites. We have a plus 3y and a minus 2y. So we can again try and eliminate these y's. By doing that, we could use again 6. So if we multiply a positive 2 to the top equation, and if we multiply just a positive 3 to the bottom equation, we should get the y's to cancel. By doing this, we're going to get 8x plus 6y equals negative 38, and 9x minus 6y is equal to negative 30. Draw a line, these are gone. Add down, we get 17x equals negative 68. Now we're going to have to divide by 17. Divide by 17, and you should get x is equal to negative 4. So we did B, right, and solved a revised system. We almost have it done, except for we need to take this x, we need to plug in, let's go back to the top original equation. Okay, so we're going to go 4, and we have times negative 4, plus 3y should be equal to negative 19. So we're going to have to add 16 over. We get 3y is equal to negative 3. If we divide by 3, we get y is equal to negative 1. Okay. So right now we have a point that is our solution of negative 4, negative 1. Okay. Let's do our checks. I'm going to take the 4x plus 3y equals negative 19. We're going to plug in negative 4, negative 1. We get negative 16 minus 3 should be equal to negative 19. That is correct. If we take the other equation, 3x minus 2y is equal to negative 10. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Minus 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. That should all be equal to negative 10. So negative 12, yes, we get negative 10. That is multiplying both equations and using elimination. So one last problem, more elimination. Please follow this example. If you get stuck, okay, that solves and ends up getting a solution of negative 2, negative 1. Okay, so we're going to do one more. We have 7x minus 5y equals 11 and negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 16. If we look, probably going to choose, you could choose X, you could choose Y. If we eliminate the X's, hopefully you're thinking of 28. If you're eliminating the Y's, hopefully you're thinking 10. Hopefully you'd want to go to the lower number, so let's try and eliminate again the Y's. Okay, we have both negatives, so we're going to have to multiply a negative to one of the equations to make it positive. In other words, let's make the top equation 10y and keep the bottom equation negative 10y. Okay. In order to do positive 10y, we're going to have to multiply the top equation by negative 2. In order to keep the bottom as a negative 10, we just have to multiply it by positive 5. Okay. So we'll get, by distributing the negative 2, we're going to get negative 14x plus 10y is equal to negative 22. And then when we distribute the 5, we're going to get negative 20x minus 10y is equal to negative 80. Again, by doing that, these 10y's are going to cancel. If we add down negative 14 and negative 20, give us negative 34x equals negative 102. Divide by negative 34. Divide by negative 34. And x is equal to positive 3. Let's take our 3, plug it into, let's take this 3, go right into the top equation. So 7 times 3 minus 5y equals 11. 21 minus 5y is equal to 11. By subtracting 21 to both sides, we're going to get negative 5y equals negative 10. Divide by negative 5, and y equals 2. So right now we have a point that is 3, 2 for our solution. Okay, let's do our checks. Take the first equation, 7x minus 5y equals 11. Negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 16. Plug in 3, 2. We get 21 minus 10, which is 11, is equal to 11. Do the other one. Negative 4 times 3 minus 2 times 2 should equal negative 16. Negative 12 minus 4. Negative 12 and 4 make negative 16. That is solving by elimination. Multiplying just one equation or multiplying by both equations. Please finish, that was 6.3a. Please finish 6.3b. You have number 2, 3, and 4. That concludes elimination. Hey, remember, do your best, forget the rest. See ya!